Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This week's assignment is regarding the bombardment of Fort Sumter, April 12th, 1861. First thing is to look at a few influential people before the firing, and one is George S. James. He was a private in the Mexican War, student at South Carolina College until 1851. He was stationed in Florida. And he was under the command of John C. Pemberton, which was commander in the Charleston area after the firing, and would eventually be the Confederate commander who gave up Vicksburg in 1863. He was also stationed with Stephen D. Lee in Florida. He left Fort Randall, Nebraska on January 11th, 1861, and he was ordered by Stephen D. Lee to fire the first shot on April 12th, 1861 at 4:30 in the morning. Stephen D. Lee, he was a graduate of United States Military Academy in 1854, or the West Point. His classmates were J.E.B. Stewart and George William Custis Lee, one of Robert E. Lee's children. Stephen was also a distant relative of Robert E. Lee. He Lee was actually the superintendent of West Point in 1854, and Stephen left Fort Randall, South Dakota Territory on February 17th, 1861, en route to South Carolina. He was captain of artillery on March 17th, and he was adjutant to General P.G.T. Beauregard, which was commander of the Conventional Army of South Carolina on April 11th, 1861. He also carried a message from Beauregard to James to fire on Fort Sumter at 4:30 in the morning, April 12th. Okay, so took two pictures. The first one is a depiction of James. That is at the Civil War Museum in Harrisburg that I recently visited. And the one on the right is Fort Sumter, looking from Fort Moultrie here in Charleston. All right, so took the news article from the New York Times. It was dated May 5th, 1861, and within the article they described that the battle in real time, and this stood standard of scrutiny of history, because a lot of times first accounts can be flawed, but other primary sources collaborate what they were saying within the article. And the article overall describes what was going on prior to and the effects of the firing. And within the article, it said that Fort Sumter's downfall was due to what they call hot shot. It was ordnance that was heated and then shot out of a cannon, and it did a lot of damaging effects to Fort Sumter. It also described the 100-gun salute to the United States flag after Robert Anderson, gave up. And it's known as like the battle that had no casualties. The only casualty was that happened after the battle was one man was killed and 4 were wounded after the cannon exploded during the 100-gun salute. All right, so this is a little outside, but I thought it was interesting to note Fort Sumter and the Antietam connections in 1862. To the far left, you'll see Abner Doubleday, Samuel Crawford, Truman Seymour, and Norman Hall all served at the Battle of Antietam. And Roger Pryor, he was a Confederate that helped defend Sunken Road. But before the firing on Fort Sumter, Crawford actually had to pump his stomach because he ingested poison. So I thought that was sort of a unique thing in history that maybe not a lot of people know. Ripley also has a connection, is that he was in charge of Fort Moultrie, but he was also in the area of the cornfield in 1862. And that's where Abner Doubleday and Crawford and all of them were fighting on the early morning battle of Antietam. So there's some bibliography information from what I used, and I look forward to hearing everybody else's videos from this week. Have a good day.